Hey everybody, welcome to another chat slash interview with a success story. It's so cool to be able to get Keith on, and that's not his real name, by the way. We were just laughing at that. Keith, I think's put the password in for the Zoom, so he has a much simpler name. I'll give you his contact info underneath this video or in the description of the podcast. But what I want to do first of all is let's look at Keith's story, look at the results he's been getting. So if you're a network marketer and you're wanting to improve your results, which you should do, right? Hopefully just maybe one sentence, one story, one secret maybe that Keith shares can be useful to you and your business. So how are you doing, Keith? Welcome.
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Good. So what's your surname, just to be clear for the audience? It's not SDDPLO5. It's not that, is it?
No, my last name is Jenkins, Jenkins.
Cool. That makes it easy for people to find.
If you look me up, you could probably find me at Cowboy Keith on the internet.
Cowboy Keith.
I usually wear a cowboy hat, but I can't with the headphones. So.
Yeah, one prop at a time, right? One prop at a time. So, yeah, I know you've been getting some great results, rank advancing. I want to dive into that in a second. But first of all, I think it's always, I really, really love hearing about the initial exposure of someone to network marketing. There's so much variation, and it gives people listening and watching a great insight to say, oh, that's how to find more people like Keith, or how to get more signups. So what were you doing just before you entered network marketing, and how were you initially exposed to it the very first time?
Wow. I remember the very first time I was 15 years old, not even of legal age. And I remember a guy drawing the circles of Amway on a whiteboard. And, we used to laugh and joke, and we were in some other business together. I don't remember, so long ago now. But
cool. Oh, so you knew the guy already? The guy you kind of knew each other a little bit?
Yeah, and he was much older, obviously, because I was just 15. So he was really old, like in his 40s or something.
Okay. Thanks. I'm nearly 40.
But he was a funny guy, and I really liked him. And one day he said, hey, I'm going to show you how I'm making money drawing circles.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. He showed me that, and, I was too young to join, but, I got my sister to join, and I joined underneath her. And back then it was very different, than it is today. Now everything is online and automated but back then, we were having products shipped to our house, and then people were having to come over to our house and pick up the product.
Right.
And, it was crazy. But ever since then, ever since I was 15, I've always been, enamored with network marketing and just the whole concept of it.
Yeah, that's a really cool story. I've never had anybody quite so young. You're way more intelligent than me at that age in terms of streetwise. I got shown network marketing multiple times when I was an adult. And I was just so close-minded back then. Do you know what I mean? Definitely now, one of the major things that I enjoy about our industry and being around much smarter people than me is they teach you to be open-minded, right? Learn what to ignore, but learn to pay attention to certain things too.
Right.
Back then, I was so skeptical of everything and negative. I was like, oh, this doesn't make sense to me. It's one of those things. It's just for your benefit. Such stupid attitude. So it's good that you had a really good one early on. How did you find it then? So you were a problem solver. You got your sister in. You found a way that worked. I love people that take action. What was it like as a 15-year-old trying to get people in? Did you get any success, or was there other benefits as well?
No. No success. I haven't really, to be honest with you. I've been involved in network marketing ever since then, and I'm 54 now.
Sure.
And, I've been around the industry for a long time. I've been in several different businesses. I've had success with some businesses and a lot of failure with most. And I'm always looking, what's out there, what's going on, what's happening with the industry.
Yeah.
But no, I never really had any success because none of the concepts that were ever taught worked for me. Because they talk about the friends and family, they talk about the 3-foot rule, and I did those things, and then I ran out of people to talk to, and this cycle kind of repeated itself over and over and over, regardless of a different company, or the grass isn't any greener anywhere else. You're right. Still comes back to you, right?
Yeah.
And so I never really learned how to really approach people in a professional manner. with a product and service that, that they could actually use and benefit from.
Yeah, I hear there's so many. This is the exact same position as why I created my system. It's great you're getting results now with that. We'll touch on that in a second. But I hear this so often. There's just no way in 99% of the time that friends and family is going to be enough to generate the kind of incomes that people want to generate, right? I mean, you can make some money. Don't get me wrong. There's the occasional person that has a really deep market, really well respected, or professional friends, or happens to know somebody who knows has a deep market. But these are fractions of percentages. And
Right.
the reason we get in business, right, is because we want to have some level of control over our income. We want the freedom of time and flexibility that self-employment brings. But the reason that self-employment attracted me in network marketing was I didn't want to be a puppet to somebody else.
Right.
I wanted to be in control. I grew up in a single parent family and there was never any money around. We used to hide from people. It was awful. And I remember thinking when I was a kid, I'm never going to allow this to happen in my family. My child will never sit in the staircase frightened, hiding from debt collectors kicking at a door. That's never going to happen. So self-employment was always a way for me to control those things. And yet in network marketing, as amazing as the model is, so many companies and leaders that are forcing people to just give away that control by saying, well, just want it more, or just make another list. There has to be a professional strategy in place that allows you to find the right people with the right offer so that business can be ethical and enjoyable. So you reach that point, you realize it wasn't working, you've been in multiple businesses. Was that the kind of the point where you were looking at my stuff, finding my things out, or was that just you just happened to find? I'm always interested to know where people find out about me first.
Well, no, it's actually very recently that I ran into your stuff, and it was actually a Facebook page of a very successful network marketer. On the page, somebody mentioned your name in the comments, and I went and
Cool.
checked it out and found out for yourself. It wasn't an affiliate link or anything like that, so I trusted it.
Sure. Yeah.
But my background is primarily in real estate. I wrote my first offer on real estate when I was 19. And I've been involved in real estate. I kind of went the real estate direction with my life, and now we're real estate investors, we're real estate agents, here in the States. And I just kind of went and growing my business in that direction, still as self-employed, but just never really had a lot of success with the network marketing avenue.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's strange how it works, how one business can go really well, but another maybe not so much. And I think once you've got the bug of network marketing, it's like just an itch you need to scratch, isn't it? You can make millions in real estate, but if you're that type of person, like we obviously are, when you don't want to quit, there's no quitting me. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same with you. Like you start a business, you're like, real estate's going really well, but still, why can't I figure that out? I want to figure that out. And it becomes a personal mission. And, I think it's useful to have something that stretches you and makes you a little uncomfortable and gives you a new skill set. Not just for the income that it generates itself, but I think people listening and watching, especially if they're new to our industry or close to quitting or in difficulty, it's worth understanding the payoff of this industry is far outweighed, financially in yourself, your own development. The kind of father that you're able to be, or mother, that parent, the kind of business owner you can be elsewhere. Most of the stuff that I teach, in fact, all of it can be applied to virtually any business. I just like to make it specific for network marketing,
Absolutely.
And the lessons you learn from other network marketers and meeting people on a higher level than you, there's so many stories and things that I've gained, and I didn't think I was getting any results. I'm like, I'm just looking at the sign up, and that's all I was focusing my results on. And when I looked outside of that, I'm like, okay, I have the ability to generate leads. Some of those are going to start to convert. So I have the ability of more patience. I read now. I never used to read. Now I read a book a week. I'm a better father, better person, better husband. I'm like, wow, if I was to put a financial amount on these, some of these are priceless. So just give yourself some credit if you're listening and watching. If you're not specifically doing well in this industry, look for some other form of success anywhere else. You know, I was speaking to a teacher the other day, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I just suck at this. Maybe I'm no good at this. I'm just not a confident person. I can't learn new things." I was like, "Man, look at your profession. You know, all the skills you think you lack, you're showcasing on a daily basis. It's just a question of belief. So keep
Right.
on going."
Right.
So how's things going recently then? So you found my training recently. I know you jumped in with my Home Business Accelerator. I got a message from you. I'm sure you said you rank advanced last month. Did I hear that
did.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my whole thing was about I don't know. It's a progression. You know, it's hard to put exact date and time on
Sure.
when things happen. But my whole thing is I wanted to help people in my industry in real estate.
Mm.
The problem with people that I had in real estate, and it's a hamster wheel, right? We're chasing that next deal. I call it the hamster wheel of personal production.
Sure.
We're always chasing the next deal, the next deal, the next deal, the next deal, the next deal. And that's great. And, you know, we can make a lot of money at that. But when does that end?
Yeah.
You know, and so I've set up my whole business is around helping people solve that problem. You know, when does it end? And obviously network marketing is for the long term, for people that can think long term. I believe absolutely the best way to create wealth uh, that's available today, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the problem is okay. Well, you know, my thing is always, okay, well, who can I talk to next? Right? Who's going to listen to me? Who's going to show up for their appointment?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who's going to engage? Right? And so, you know, I've been involved in a lot of blogs, and you know, I'm always researching and hanging out with people that are involved in network marketing, and just kind of watching what they're saying and listening, and you know, 99% of the time, I feel like they're a worse situation than I'm in, based on my learning curve and how long I've been doing this, and trying to get up that learning curve and figure out how to really do this. And so, you know, you have to be careful of to who you're listening to, right? And who you're taking some advice from. And, you know, it was just a comment. It was about, I guess about 3-4 months ago now. It was just a comment in one of these blog posts that I've been following, a Facebook group post. And somebody had mentioned, you know, that they love your stuff, and, you know, go check it out. So I did. And the thing that I liked about it was that it's not anything that it's not the typical stuff that you hear, you know, go find 3 friends, post stuff to social media, go find your friends and your family, make a list and call everybody, you know, and so that's kind of how I found it. And you know, I implemented several of the first couple of strategies, you know, the daily activities, and you know, just started implementing what I was learning. And within the first couple of weeks, I rank advanced in my company. We brought on 3 new people within the first like 2 weeks.
Nice. Yeah, that's really good. And once you've done that, it's an amazing moment. I remember the first time that I was able to do that in a much more systemized way. I think I made some kind of an affiliate sale or a product sale. It's only about $10, something like that, commission. But I was so enthusiastic about that. You know, people listen and they say 3 people in 2 weeks. Oh, that's really good. And then they look and think, oh, some people bring in 30 people in 2 weeks. Yeah, but you've got to look at what that step means. Right. You know, someone moving from 30 to 40 people a week is nowhere near as significant as someone going from not being able to sponsor to 3 people in 2 weeks. Because what it shows you is, if I can do it once, I can do it again as many times as I want. I just got to get better at doing it, get quicker. And you know, obviously my system shows you how to knock those rough edges off. I remember when I made those first $10, my friends were like, why are you getting all, you know, like $10 is less than minimum wage here in the UK. What? I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand it. That popped up while I was asleep. It's with my email this morning. Yeah. So I now know that time is no longer a limiting factor to me as it has been. And that's
part of the challenge. That's part of the challenge that I run into the people that I'm talking with, because they're used to this hamster wheel with a big payoff.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
here in Southern California, if a real estate agent sells a house, you know, they're making 10 grand at
Yeah.
least, you know,
Yeah.
and so, you know, they get stuck in that mentality of, I just got to keep doing this over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're trying to say, okay, well, yes, but let's add something to the mix here.
Yeah, that's a smart pitch to have. You know, when does it end? It'd be a great starting line in your copy. You know, when does it
Right.
end? And then people, because you want to ask questions, right? And it's important as network marketers. Keith made a great point there when he was saying when does it end. You've got to think about what your audience is thinking about. You know, the one of the reasons that I've been able to do so well with online stuff and teaching people is, yeah, a lot of trial and error in the field. Don't get me wrong. You don't sponsor nearly 800 people just by accident, but you know, it took so much time and effort, and still now, to ask the questions. How did you find out about me? Why do you like my training? If someone doesn't buy something, why didn't you buy my training? If they do, what do my best customers have in common? I learn the problems. I'm obsessive over it. Do you know what I mean? Any single conversation I have, and why did you do that? And why did you not do that? Get used to asking why, and start to write this stuff down, because you'll start to get a really good picture of what the people who you're trying to serve, what they actually want and what they actually need. And then if you really feel like you can provide that through your products or services, then it's exciting. You know, when I was able to just generate a handful of leads online, I realized that there were so many people in my industry of network marketing that couldn't even do that. If
Right.
I gave them 5 hours and an internet connection and said, just get me a handful of leads, they'd be like, well, I don't know if I can. I'm not sure if I could. I definitely couldn't do it 3 days in a row. I was like, wow, that doesn't seem a big deal to me, but I guess it is. And then you start to realize that when you ask these questions, if you have the solutions, it starts to really move your business forward. Same with, like you're saying, you can go to real estate people and you can say, hey, 10 grand is amazing. Congratulations on how long will that last you?
Right.
3 months, 2 months? What's your lifestyle like? How long does it need to last you until you get the next deal? When the recession hits, which it will, because it does every so many years, what then? You know what I mean? You want to have a minimum level. I always teach this. You want to have a minimum of 3 income streams that are coming in, and each one of those 3 covers your overheads, like the car, the mortgage, everything, down to Netflix, everything, so your life could stay the same. You need 3 of them. One of them you need to totally control. Another one can be a bit of a side project, and then a form of employment if you want, or another business. But you need to have these 3 so that should something happen to one or even 2 of them, if it's linked to the economy, you're able to be in a position where you're like, well, that was a painful day, but I'm not going to lose that much sleep because I can build these 2 up again. And I've got something
Right.
that's covering the bills. I don't have to make those stupid decisions that panicking causes. So where from here then? So you've got new rank, we're moving onwards and upwards. So I'm guessing next
Yeah.
it's scaling up from what you've begun with, I guess.
Yeah, I'm really to what I want to do next is I've always known that it's possible to scale and to automate this business, but nobody's teaching it.
Yeah.
Um, you know, maybe they are, but I haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
And some of your stuff and for you talk about, we still have to talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
but while we're doing that, let's build some automation and some systems and some things. And I want to just fold that into what I'm already doing
Yeah.
with my guys and my
Yeah.
team in the real estate industry.
And that gives you a
Because
huge advantage as well, Keith, because what you'll find is once you start getting results through that, you become the go-to person with that solution. You partially automate at first, and then we fully automate so that it doesn't require physical time. And then, of course, everybody wants that freedom, the ability to, in an ethical way, attract attention, convert it to a sale, and duplicate it. When someone sees that you're doing that, as you will do down the line, when someone sees that, now just like everybody flocks to you. They're like, man, why would I want to choose any other way of building this company other than Keith's way? Like, he's taken 90% of the stress out of it for me. And
but still
that's how you
maintain
sort of get people in.
that relationship,
Yeah.
still be, they can still call me and they can
Yeah.
still participate and we can hop on a call or a question or whatever. I still want to maintain that relationship. It's not like, oh, sign up for my stuff online and good luck, see you later.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a perfect attitude. When someone comes to automation through weakness, it's a mistake. You know, when someone's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to have to do, I just want people to just buy my stuff. I don't really care if they get results. I don't really care if it helps them or not. That person, you can't really do much for them. You can
Yeah,
still
that's
teach them
not
how
gonna
to
work.
sell stuff and make a decent amount of money, but it's never long lived because people can tell they don't give a damn. Whereas when you actually come into the automation through a combination of, I want to make my own life better and more successful and easier, but I also still care about the results of my customers, you can combine the two. You know, look
Right.
at me. I have one of the most automated businesses on the planet. Do you know what I mean? But I choose to still have a level of involvement, weekly
Right.
Q&As and interviews like this, calls, messages, that kind of thing. The beauty of it is when you've automated a bunch of stuff that doesn't require you, you can now spend more time on the stuff that you like and love, which is, you know, speaking to people in a way you want to speak to them and dealing with it that way. It's just a much
Right.
healthier combination for you and for your customers, you know.
You know, and the technology that's available today, people just don't know.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, you know, every day I'm getting people that are reaching out to me because they've been talking to a bot for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the texting and the Facebook messaging and the automation and the voicemails and the pixels, and I mean, just all this technology is just it blows me away. The more that I learn about it, and to me, it seems like, you know, a lot of people are using it incorrectly, right? Like you're saying that they're just trying to get that sale using
Yeah.
automation. Well, I want to get to the relationship with automation,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's a big key difference with, you know, some of your stuff is like, you know, you're still maintaining the relationship,
Mhm.
um, which is, you know, what we all want. You know, I want to be able 5 years from now to call you up and say, hey, let's go to that beach and, you know,
Yeah.
wherever, and we
It's
hop
more
on a plane and
fulfilling
go
as
do
well.
that.
Yeah, it's more fulfilling as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you can totally automate everything and never be involved whatsoever, you can do that with technology quite simply these days. But like, where's the fulfillment?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That, like, it still means a lot to me when I get like messages like yourself. I had a rank advance in the like last 2 weeks. You know, I've made this much money. I get people saying, "No, I don't have to work overtime anymore. Here's a picture with me and my kids." You know, that means something to me. You know,
Right.
and I think if you lose that, then all of a sudden you're like, there's loads of ways to make money. Do you know what I mean? There's never
Right.
been there's never been I don't like using the word easy, but there has never been an easier time to make money and start a business. There hasn't. Just the technology, it's a fact. It's so much, you know, so simpler to start a business nowadays. Just a
Right.
few basic understandings of a few technological things that don't require coding and what people presume. It is very basic, you know.
Right.
You can completely automate, but where's the fulfillment in that if people don't feel like they can ever, oh, I best not message you or ask a question? You know, I like
Right.
to be involved in a certain level because, you know, that's my business. We're all in a
Absolutely.
business. It's not B2B or B2C, it's B2P. We're all dealing
Right.
with people,
People.
business
Yeah.
to people,
You
you
know,
know.
and one of the things that we do in your training is we talk about the perfect day,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I
You
love
know,
that exercise.
waking up to the perfect day and what that looks like, and you know, I've had that conversation with people, and people people are so busy doing whatever they're doing that they never slow down long enough to figure out what is it that they really want.
Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it? Mm,
You know, why are we even doing this?
exactly.
You know, um, and you know, it's you know, one of the things that I'm trying to learn how to do in my own head is have that conversation with people.
Hmm.
But when they have no idea what they want or where they're going, that makes it very tough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like the
You
wave a
know,
magic
because they're
wand.
just going to stay on that, you know?
Yeah, wave a magic wand is a great. Hey, listen, as I always say to them, I love this question. So just be totally honest with me. Let's have some fun. I say that if I can give you a magic wand and you can wave it, and we're now fast forward to tomorrow morning, where's the best place you could possibly be waking up?
There you go. Yeah.
You know, and just give them one thing to think of. Just give them that one, not the perfect day. Just like bring it right back and say, where would you be waking up? I'm not sure. Well, close your eyes. What do you hear? Do you hear the
Awesome.
ocean? Do you hear the birds in the mountains? Do you hear your family playing in the house? What do you hear? I hear the
Right.
ocean. So we're by the beach. You ever want
That's
a
great.
beach house? You know what I mean? And you can kind of feed them. Okay, so how did you pay for the beach house? Where do you see yourself? And some will say, oh, shirt, tie. Some will be like, oh, surfing, you know, whatever, right? So I love to hear people describe that, because the thing is, it's possible for people. It's not even just possible, it's probable. The problem is all the baggage that we carry around, and all the times we've had people tell us you can't do that, that's not for someone like you. The media does the same. Like we see this like slice of the population we think are somehow above us, and that there's no way to catch them. And that's really sad, that there's so many people out there that still have 10, 20, 30, 50 years of time left in them, maybe even more, and they're not even pursuing what they really want.
Right.
So if you're not pursuing what you really want, your absolute peak is going to be mediocrity. Like the absolute peak is going to be okay. And it's sad to think that with the gift of life that we've all got, 15,000 people die every day. We're 15,000 people didn't wake up this morning. We did. What are you going to do with that day? You may as well pursue something you love, because the pursuit becomes the fulfillment. There's certain goals that maybe I'll reach them, maybe I won't. Thankfully, touch wood, I have a system which I teach, where you can get these goals one after the other. But even if you don't get the goal, how much more fun is a life full of passion and progress and variation and excitement and pushing for things that really turn you on in life? Like, oh, I really hope I can get that. You know what I mean? It's so much fun to be like, let me see what I can do next. Do you know what I mean? Like vacations and stuff. And my most amazing memories have been through that thinking, going and doing certain things in life I never thought I would do. Was the first thing is like, no, I think it could be possible. And it all spirals from there.
Right. Well, and in your training, you really take it back. I've taken so many trainings. I've spent tens of $100,000 on my own personal development, I'm sure. And, in the training, you kind of take it back to that. It's like, I was so frustrated because I couldn't advance in the training and like get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
It's like you
patience in that scene.
yeah. So it's like, okay, well, just tell me, what do I copy and paste here?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people like that out there. They just want to kind of cut to, okay, well, what do I do?
That's a society thing. That's definitely a society thing.
What to do doesn't matter until we figured out what you want.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
And what's going to motivate you and keep you on that track, and you cover that really well in your training. And I think for people that are just so on that fast track and doing that hamster wheel, that part of the training alone, even if they're not even in network marketing, I think that's really, really powerful.
It's funny you should mention that. The number one thing that people get in my training for is the system, generating the technical stuff, generating the leads, and of course, teach them how to do that. The number one thing they mention is that module.
Yeah.
So without a doubt. Number one thing, I can't wait to get and build the system. I was just talking to a gentleman today, he just bought the system just now. I can't wait to get in. I'm going to build my war system, like in week 3, I'm going to build the war system. It's amazing. I can't wait. I'm going to do this lead and that. And then all of a sudden he's like 6 or 7 days into the trial and he's like, I'm thinking completely differently about myself. Like I was in tears watching this video, and I'm like, I told you, like, there's no point in like giving someone a tool if they don't have the aspiration to pick it up and use it. Like if I give you a Ferrari and you're into cars and you go, wow, that's amazing, but you're so afraid of crashing it and you don't think that you have the skill set to handle the car, it just sits on the driveway and drives you insane as you look at it every day and go, I wish I had the bottle to get behind the wheel.
And how many of us have bought trainings that are sitting on the shelf somewhere?
Yeah, and like we've all done this,
All right.
A million different, like this is why I have one program to rule them all. I don't want to give you like, here's how to generate the leads, and then you've got to come back to me and figure out what to say to them. Or here's what to say to them, but I won't tell you how to duplicate. I don't like that approach. I could probably make more money that way, splicing it up into expensive modules and feeding you through one to the other. I just don't like the way that would make me feel. Yeah. And that comes for me, progress above profit, always. Because if you focus on the progress of people and the progress of yourself, the profit stacks up by itself. Everyone's always asking, how did you go so fast in your business? How do you continue to grow? Bad economy, good economy, COVID, all the rest of it. I'm thankful that we have an online business, so we haven't been affected by that. What underpins all of that is my passion for the craft, the pursuit of progress for myself and other people. And just the fact that, you know, you need to really understand and have the bravery to say, you know what, I know people are saying that, but I've studied the audience. I've asked these questions like in network marketing, ask people why they say yes, ask them why they say no, and then be brave enough to call people out on that. You know, if someone comes to me and says, I want to do this in the first 3 days, it's not the program for you. I'm playing the long game for you. You can get short-term results, but I'm helping you play the long game. And this is what we should do as network marketers. Don't
one of the things that I learned. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, carry on.
One of
I'll
the
talk
things
all day about this stuff. I really
me too,
would.
right? We could be here all day.
Yeah.
One of the things that I kind of learned in the program, and it's not really something that you taught on, but you have these epiphanies sometimes, right? And I kind of got why the industry teaches to go to friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I never really understood that before because that never worked for me.
Yeah.
But when you do it in a way that you teach about, doing the social media and, having the conversation that you talk about having, it's reaching out to people differently.
Yes. Yeah.
And I understand why it's taught the way that it's taught in the industry because they're lazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the right word, but they haven't done the work to understand why that whole system works in the first place, why the friends and family thing works. And I've never really been a fan of it because I've never really been able to figure it out.
Yeah.
But when you have a specific plan and a specific strategy and the right words, that's when reaching to friends and family works.
Yeah,
it doesn't work when you run out and you have a bulldozer and you vomit on them.
No, exactly that. It's the same with strangers as well.
Right. Yeah.
The network marketing industry, I think there's a lot of fear from a lot of companies that, if I tell the truth a little bit more, I may lose a whole bunch of reps, or I may get less people coming to the events, and we'll lose.
They'll think profit. It's a lot harder than it really is.
They'll realize it's a lot harder than it really is.
Yeah.
But they'll also realize that it can be a lot simpler than it's made out to be. Because right now you have a whole bunch of people who think that they're a failure. Oh, well, the company says this is the way it works, and if I can't do it, and there's 10 guys on stage and girls on stage at the event, well, I'm the loser. And that's not the conducive emotion and feeling to want to progress and push yourself for more on comfort. Absolutely. I had to turn around and look at myself and say, I haven't built the relationships that I thought I'd built. And that's on me. I've got to accept that and look to become a more valuable person with certain ways that I can do that. And then those person came to me, right? And also the way we communicate. When we join a network marketing company, the world changes just for us. Our friends, our family, they know their lives are exactly the same. Right. So we join a network marketing company. Now we have changed. We say, oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to get the beach house, all the rest of it, right? So we have changed. So when we go to other people, we feel that their world is different too. Come on, right. you got to see this, right? It's amazing. And they go, no, I don't see this. It doesn't matter what you show people. It matters what they see. And the original way that network marketing is taught is, like you say, just to throw up over everybody and expect them to say, oh, right, I see exactly what you see. Well, no, we've got to be a little bit more professional and say, well, let's think about the buying habits and behaviors of those people as human beings. Set aside the relationship for now and say, this human being, how does this human being come to want to buy something, come to want to join something? That's what we need to dig into. And that's what our industry needs to learn. Doing my best to teach them, right? You've got to have people understand not just network marketing. You've got to understand human behavior, communication, and marketing, not just network marketing. If you can understand those things alongside proper business, then it starts to become as easy as you want to make it, because now you understand how it's like a jigsaw, right? If I give you the picture and I put the edge in for you, you can do the rest fairly easy. But if I just throw you a pile of jigsaw pieces and I keep the picture back, well, the same jigsaw suddenly becomes 100 times harder. And that's what's happening in our industry. Here's a jigsaw. I think all the pieces are there. No, I don't want to give you the picture. Just go do it because I say so. It's never going to be the easiest way to solve the puzzle, is it? No wonder people just throw the pieces or stop snapping corners off and shoving it in. No, that'll do. That'll work.
Right. Well, and you get, I've never really been in an industry that will expose your weaknesses as well either. Like, I know, I've learned just from the couple of months I've been in your program
Mm.
that, my biggest weaknesses are I'm impatient with people,
Mm-hmm.
and I get frustrated with people way too easily,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when, somebody doesn't show up to an appointment, I'm done.
Yeah, I used to be like that
Somebody
too.
doesn't answer the way I want them to answer,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
done.
yeah.
And so, I have to learn how to be a better person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I get you. It's
And
pain. It's reassuringly painful, my program,
yeah.
isn't it? Reassuringly so, yeah. But no, that's a really cool revelation. And I like to reflect myself. I'm so impatient as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, and we're all human beings. We're not robots. We all
Right.
have shortcomings, or what would be deemed as shortcomings. And it's a fun game to play, to bring these weak links, galvanize them, and make them stronger. And then suddenly
Right.
you look back and you go, wow, my whole chain is now 30% stronger, and I can lift so much more in life. And this is what gradually happens. We pick the weakest link and we fix it. What's the next weakest? What's the next weakest? And now we say, look at the
Right.
chain, look at the links that you've made. And now business and life comes a lot simpler than we ever thought imagining,
Well, and also there's, like, where I had my success immediately with your program was in my sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And because those people had a little bit of relationship with me, they already knew some of my flaws.
Mm-hmm.
and they knew that I'm a little impatient, and they,
Yeah.
and so now I'm excited to, take my business with the next level with you and your training in, how do we get that level of comfort and knowledge
Mm.
with people that we don't know?
Yeah.
How do they get
That's really
to
cool.
know me and know that I'm still me too,
Yeah.
I have my problems and my issues and my
Mm-hmm.
things, but hey, let's jump on board and let's do this together.
Yeah. That's really good. And it's unusual. Most people get in my program, it's always complete strangers. They jump online, they get something they never knew. So it bodes well that you've got some success from your existing network. A lot of people have completely burnt that network out. So if
Yeah.
you've got a level of trust and understanding and with people within your network, you tend to find it's much stronger when you then go to, move that onto to complete strangers. So you'll find that transition smoother than most, for sure. But yeah, it's cool. It's really been, I've enjoyed speaking to you. It's really nice to know more about your background.
Fun.
And know 15 was when you started, and it's great to hear the rank advancement with the program.
So
And of
that's
course,
it took me 40 years for well, I should mention one thing real quickly. I was involved in a health and nutrition company where I did become a direct distributor.
Sure.
But it's really interesting. Just real quick story about that.
Yeah, sure.
Is that I was hooked up with a real famous guy by the name of Robert Allen.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote several books. Real estate, multiple streams of income, I think, was one of his real books. And in the book, he actually put a phone number for people to call if they were interested in joining his network marketing company.
Yeah.
And I would get some of those leads.
Nice. Yeah.
And that was great, but it poisoned me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, double-edged sword, right? Yeah.
Right. It was great because we had the credibility. Best-selling book. Here's what you do. Sign up here. Give me your credit card. $700 sale on the first call.
Yeah.
And then I tried to reproduce that myself.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that in the program. We weave a matrix, and everywhere they look, there's trust, there's rapport, and of course, you got to know what to say. But that's the way that the modern business way works. We use online tools to build that trust and rapport, so that by the time somebody comes to speak to you, they've pretty much already made their mind up. I don't believe in trying to make the process skill intensive and labor intensive. A lot of people, they'll have, I give one script, right? In that program, there's one powerful script. You use that, it works.
Right.
I see so many people, there's like 50 different scripts. If it's a Tuesday and the guy likes cheese or he doesn't like donkeys, then say this. If it's a female and her left foot is bigger than her right foot and she's an inch taller than you, say this. I'm like, no one is going to remember all these things. And if they do, it's going to be, okay, well, the next question is, that's not going to work. You need to be able to simplify things And instead of actually, trying to be all things to everyone, it's so much smarter to reflect on your personality, pick an audience, be very specific with that audience. And then what you'll find is every single person that comes into contact with you, you have at least a handful of things in common with them. And just the same as if you were at a barbecue, if you and I met at a barbecue and you said I'm in network marketing, well, we get a conversation going, don't we? And you say you've been in 15, just the same now without the screen, it's the same deal. If I can find lots of things that I have in common with you, then straight away the level of trust is elevated between us. I was interviewing a gentleman the other day who was on Ray Higdon's Play to Win show. He's a gentleman who reached out to me, wanted to be interviewed. I said, yeah, cool, I'd love to get your story out there. And we found as we were speaking, we had loads and loads of things in common. Now, straight away, when someone says they have something in common with you, you feel an affinity towards them. If I went to the same school as you and I say that to you, you go, oh, great, how much more do you trust me? And there's no real reason for that. It's just the fact that there's some commonality and specificity breeds that trust and rapport. And I love teaching people that, as long as they're good people and they don't misuse it, and such as yourself, you care about people, you want to help them. It's always a privilege to teach people those skills and then see how that blows up in a good way, So I'm excited. I'm excited to continue working on the project of your business with you. I'm excited that you rank advanced already and there's so much more to come. And yeah, anything you want to leave with, anything that if there's somebody listening.
The first time I go across stage.
Yeah, cool. That'd be really good. I'd love to see that. Yeah, if you get a video of that,
for sure,
going across stage.
We have to wait for the COVID to die out, but I'm going across stage.
Yeah. You let me.
By then, I'll be a couple more ranks too, right?
Yeah. Definitely. The first time I went to one of those events, I think I'd rank advanced 7 times.
Wow.
I think we joined a company, and like 3 or 4 months later, I didn't go to any events for the 3 or 4 months, and then we did. And that was actually how I started to get a lot of traction with my program. A whole bunch of the leaders were reaching out to me because I was getting up on stage, and the guy, I think it's 5 times. I don't think it was 7. I think it was 5. It can't have been 7. I think it was 5 times. And I got on the stage, like 4th and 5th time, and the guy was like covering the microphone and saying, "This since the last event." I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay, carry on." And a whole bunch of them reached out to me. It was like, "How did you rank advanced so fast? How did you do that so quickly?" And then that spiral from there with outside of the company to others. So rank advancing can open up many, many doors. You might sell some real estate property while you're there as well as get some team.
That's the plan, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, help people make money and create wealth. What do they do? How do they do that? What do they do with that wealth? They buy real estate, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can take care of both ends, and that's true. Yeah. Good bet is real estate. So I always ask before we leave, what's just one piece of advice or just something you would like to say, even can be a quote, whatever you choose, to anybody watching or listening. They're struggling, they want to get better results, they want to progress. What's Keith's words of wisdom for them?
Figure out what you want, and what you're willing to do for it. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing pretty well in real estate, but what I want is to be able to wake up and not have to be dependent on my next deal. And so, it's just so much easier if we have a strategy. I want to wake up and in the morning, I jump out of bed. I'm excited. I'm motivated. The shag carpet feels cool to me, even though it's really outdated. It's clean and it's nice. I smell the ocean air coming in off the beach of our sliding door. I'm in the bedroom of our sliding door that goes out to the porch on the beach. I mean, let's get really detailed and on exactly what we want, and then let's build it together.
That's like wise words. Figure out what you want and what you're willing to give to get it. There's some really wise words. So I mean, I appreciate you jumping on here. It's been great learning more about you and your
we could go all day.
We could, yeah. Oh man, I love this. I love this stuff. I really do. It's great for an introverted person. I actually love when I speak to people. I actually enjoy it. I think it's just I like to be selective of who I put my time into. So it's always cool to get interviews like this because you're like, oh, I know this person's. I have this in common with them. They're an action taker. They're building a business similar to mine. So I always enjoy these conversations immensely. So where's the best place for someone to get in contact with you? And I'll leave your details easy to find for people.
I pick up the phone, give me a call,
Sure.
My phone number, I'll give you my phone number to put in
Cool.
down below.
Yeah.
My email, I do have a blog over at teamcowboykeith.com.
Cool.
People can go there and kind of get an idea of what we do,
Yeah.
and poke around. And really, I want to work with people that want to be worked with, just like you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my background is in real estate investing, and you know, if people have that kind of a background, that gives us that common ground, like you're talking about.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
you know, the real estate model is broken,
Mm-hmm.
the traditional model, and because you're having to do it over and over and over and over and over again if you're a real estate agent, for example.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
I just want to give people an alternative to that hamster wheel.
Yeah, well, I can hear your passion. I can tell you're passionate about helping people, which is really great. So if you're out there now, you're listening or you're watching, I'll put this on the podcast and I'll also put it on YouTube as well. So if you want to reach out to Keith just to say well done, or if you're in real estate or you have an interest in that, and you're looking at, you know, working with someone obviously that cares about their team and is obviously acquiring a great skill set to pass on to you, then, you know, look in the text area. In YouTube, it'll be in the like description area. On the podcast, there's a text area on there too. I'll put Keith's info in there so you can reach out to him easily and say well done if anything else, and just say hey and make a quality connection. So I'll no doubt speak to you again soon, Keith. It's been fantastic having you on, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'll have a fantastic day, my friend.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. Good times.